Hi guys, it's Phaedra from allthingsphaedra.com, and today I'm talking about cars. Specifically what Consumer Reports has to say about cars for 2019. I was lucky enough to attend their luncheon today in Washington, D.C., where I got to hear from the horse's mouth what they deem the best cars for 2019. But first, I'm going to tell you how they determine the best cars. They look at four main criteria. The first one is the reliability of the vehicle, and the second one is the consumer satisfaction of the vehicle. Now, I'm lumping both of those together because what Consumer Reports does is they survey their entire database and they get results back from car owners, new car purchasers, to hear what they think about the vehicles that they own. Now, they do say that their audience tends to skew a little older and a little wealthier than maybe the average consumer, but they also say that new car buyers tend to be a little older and a little bit wealthier. So keep that in mind. And what these car buyers have done is they've come back with their opinions and their thoughts on the reliability of the car that they own and also their satisfaction with the vehicle that they own. Now, keep in mind, those two don't always go hand in hand because people may buy a car that isn't the most reliable, but they absolutely adore that vehicle. There are some really rabid fans out there of cars like the Jeep Wrangler or the Chevy Corvette. So those two don't necessarily go hand in hand. The other two factors are really where Consumer Reports comes in. So the third is road test performance. Now, Consumer Reports purchases all of their vehicles and they drive them on their test grounds up in Connecticut, and they score them on a couple different things, and then they also score them on their safety. Now, when it comes to safety of a vehicle, there are a lot of things that they incorporate into their scoring, but the four main things they're going to tell you right here in the magazine, and that is the forward collision warning, the pedestrian detection system, the automatic emergency braking, and the blind spot warning. Now, a lot of vehicles come with these types of equipment on them, but they're not standard for all of them. So when they're rating vehicles on safety, they are looking at what is standardly available on the vehicles. What that means is a lot of luxury vehicles end up scoring higher because a lot of these safety features are standard on those vehicles. So just because a vehicle didn't score as highly on safety doesn't mean it's not safe. It just means you might have to pay a little extra to get the important safety features. Now, are you ready for the top 10 picks? These are the top 10 cars as rated by Consumer Reports in a variety of categories. The first one, the Subaru Ascent, which ranks number 1 in overall score in the mid-sized SUV category. Now, if you're not familiar with this is a brand new Subaru with 3 seats. It's a larger size vehicle, so if you haven't seen it before, it's probably because it's just come out in the past year. Number 2, the Toyota Camry Hybrid ranks highest for mid-sized SUV. Now, I might be a little bit biased here because I personally have owned a Toyota Camry Hybrid and I loved it. So why did I get rid of it? You'll find out in just a minute. Number 3, the Audi A4 ranks the highest for compact luxury car. It's a sports sedan full of technology and full of performance, so it's easy to see how it made that list. Number 4 might surprise you a little bit. It's the Toyota Yaris sedan, which ranks highest for the subcompact car. Now, why it might surprise you is honestly, I didn't know they were still making this car. So if you are looking for a subcompact car, maybe you need a commuter car, or maybe you've got a college student, or maybe you just like small cars, this ranked overall highest in that subcompact category. Number 5, this is another relatively new car if you're not familiar with it. It is the Hyundai Kona. And this is considered a subcompact SUV, which seems a little bit like a weird misnomer, but this is a whole new category. A lot of vehicles are in this category, and it's actually a really fast-growing segment. If you haven't checked out the Kona, it's one to keep your eye on, especially since there's an all-electric version due out this year. Number 6, the Toyota Avalon Hybrid ranks the highest for large car. Now, remember when I said I had a Toyota Camry Hybrid? Well, I got rid of it so I could get a Toyota Avalon Hybrid. This is a nice car. It's a large car and it feels like a luxury sedan, but not at the luxury price. Number 7 in the hybrid electric car category. Do you have a guess? We're going back to Toyota for this one. This is the Toyota Prius, which has been around a long time, but it continues to innovate. In fact, I'm kind of excited to hear that they have an all-wheel drive version due out this year. Number 8, let's talk about one of my personal favorite segments, the luxury SUV, and they are going this year with the BMW X5. Now remember, when it comes to luxury vehicles, sometimes reliability can be a little bit questionable because the more bells and whistles you put on a car, the more bells and whistles can break. This actually ranked very highly this year, and it has been redesigned for 2019. Number 9, I know some of you are pickup truck fans, and the full-size pickup category goes to, it's got to be Chevy or Ford. Which one's it going to be? It's going to be the Ford F-150, which ranked overall highest, especially in owner satisfaction. And the last category to round out their top 10 new cars is the compact SUV category, the category that I personally fall in right now, and that goes to the Subaru Forester, which has also been redesigned this year. I personally haven't spent much time behind the wheel of a Subaru, but with 2 strong rankings in the top 10, it's definitely on my must-drive list this year. Now let's say none of those 10 vehicles really suit you. You either don't like the brand, or you don't like the vehicle, or it just doesn't suit your lifestyle. That's okay. There are a lot more cars out there. And they've also ranked all of the brands. They go through all the automotive brands and they add up all of the scores for each one of the models, and then they rank the overall brands according to all of the 4 components that we've already talked about. So I'm just going to give you the best because I don't really want to talk about the worst, but there's definitely room for improvement in a lot of these areas. Number 1, no surprise, goes to Subaru. Number 2, Genesis. I did get a chance to drive a Genesis G80 if you haven't seen that review. Followed by, not surprisingly, Porsche, Audi, Lexus, Mazda, which I also drive, BMW, Lincoln, Toyota, and Hyundai. And you'll find other names that you recognize that go down the list. And I think if you've made it in the green section, you're doing pretty good. If you're in the yellow, might be a cautionary tale. So if you are interested in a new car, or you're interested in a used car, or you're interested in the best car under $30,000, or you're interested in the best SUV, this is the edition of Consumer Reports that you want to pick up. It's out now and it's got all of the car buying information you need for 2019. So now there's just one question. What do you think about this list? Do you agree with some of these choices? Do you love some of these vehicles? Do you own some of these vehicles? I would love to hear from you. And while we're at it, tell me which ones you'd like to see me review because I need to get on that this year. Thanks for watching. I hope you like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.